So in today's video, we're going to cover an honest assessment of where you actually are. Prior video, we focused on your expectation of where you want to get to and looking at intrinsic motivation and your 5-year headline. Say, okay, further out in that long term, what's that data point that I should be collecting about myself, predicting what others might say? And hopefully you've also asked some people their thoughts on this, or if you want to go through this starter kit and make a list of the things that you might want to talk with people about and get some data points on, you can do that too. But today we are going to finish the equation of starting with the end in mind. We looked at our expectations and understand where we currently are right now. So we want to set an honest baseline of ourselves, and now's the time to remove all the subjectivity you have of yourself in terms of your skills and your accomplishments and where you are in your career, and take an objective assessment where you are. And this is really important because if you can't be honest with yourself, you're not going to pick the right things you should be focusing on in terms of milestones and skills in order to help you get what you need to expect. And you're also going to create a lower probability of consistently being successful. Remember, that's like the #1 thing that career gatekeepers, the big influencers on your career that you want to turn to advocates, that they're going to be looking for in order to support you in the acceleration of your career. So when you go through each one of the milestones that you set up and the skills, and this is in the workbook, you want to have demonstratable skills. So it's one thing just to say like that you have a cross-functional leadership skill. What kind of examples can you apply against it in order to demonstrate that you actually have the skill? And it is, can you provide multiple examples to corroborate that it's not just a one-time thing, that you do have the experience? Remember, make an honest assessment here. Look at those different milestones in the worksheet. This will be on page 1.2. And the skills that you're anticipating are that you verified by speaking with other people. And then start to document some of the demonstratable skills that you have right now. Like at the top of 1.2, you'll see different skills, and give some examples, give some real examples of those skills in practice. And you can see some of the examples on the right on the screen in the gray area with the different bullets. Many of the examples are quantified or qualified, which I've discussed earlier about. Again, here you can also be predictive. If you're asking people, if you're thinking about people that you trust and what skills they say that you demonstrated, ask them like that. Getting the data points about asking people and getting the information from the others directly is a significant data point to collect in this data-driven approach. And it helps you to avoid getting erroneous data. So sometimes the things that we predict, they'll have a certain level of accuracy and we're going to get them wrong. But if you want to invest the additional time and make your predictions more accurate in terms of collecting data around this or any particular area in a data-driven career, make sure just to talk to people, interview them, get the data. And also, if you see on the bottom left, I kind of start to introduce in the concept of scope in your quantification of your skills. So as I said in the opening of the program, the scope is really looking at the dimensions or the qualitative data around the results that you're achieving. So it's one thing to increment revenue by $2 million. It's another thing to increment $2 million of revenue in an environment where the last quarter there was a 50% reduction in revenue, or there was a recession, or many people were being let go. See how the scope or the context, qualitative, the dimensional data really scopes the result and brings more relativity and context to some of these examples. So this theme of quantification, qualification, dimensionalizing data, scoping data will appear throughout this approach. So what I want you to do next is to watch the how-to video, and I'll cover the 1.2 worksheet in your workbook.